phone, hold the phone. Eagles might not be picking a cornerback at pick 10 because breaking news live to the podcast. And thank you for talking while me and Mick were clearly trying to figure out the news we just seen.
I wonder what that symbol was. I was like, spinning, moving.
James Bradberry, cornerback for the Eagles, has just signed a new deal with the Philadelphia Eagles. 38 million, 3 years, can rise to 44 million with bonuses. So you're looking at 13 million per year for Bradberry at cornerback. Seems to me like a good deal price-wise, money-wise. Doesn't feel like an overpay. And he's got some bonuses in there as well. And we lock up Bradberry for 29 for years 29, 30, 31, 32 around. I think he's nearly 30 now, which is pretty much the years we had Slay for over the last couple of years. Interesting, because what does that mean for Slay? Does that mean that we trade Slay post the June 1st cutoff, which would save us 17 or 18 million in cap space looking into 2023, 2024, and would allow us to then sign someone else? Or does it mean that the Eagles are locking up their secondary, having shit all over their linebackers so far today? Breaking news, Mick, how do you feel about that? And then we will get back to the offensive tackles as well, but we had to do that live.
Fuck yes, man.
Yes.
Get in my veins. Inject that straight into me, man. If I did not expect Bradberry to resign, I just didn't. And you know how much I've been going on about Gonzalez the whole off season, or since we started looking at the draft, and that's a statement signing from Howie. It will depend on what happens with Slay. I still think Slay will be restructured, and to keep those both guys locked down on outside corner. I mean, that's money. That's money.
Do you know what this does do? It reinforces the Sean Desai, Jonathan Gannon, Nick Sirianni, Harry Roseman methodology of bend, don't break, no explosive plays, especially if they sign CJ Gardner-Johnson. So not looking at the linebacker position so much, but focusing on the secondary. That is a big statement as to what they're going to be looking at this year. And does that make you feel a little bit better in general, Phil, about we're losing all these players on defense? We had assumed James Bradberry had been going. I mean, let me put it this way. If we kept Kaiser White and TJ Edwards but lost James Bradberry, or if we kept TJ Edwards but lost James Bradberry, what would you be happier with, keeping James Bradberry or keeping TJ Edwards? James Bradberry.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it's going to be Bradberry based on the needs that we have at the position. But see what happens, guys, when I make a take, it ends up getting blown straight out of the water.
That's so true. It's so true. That was absolutely perfect. Like you went to Gonzalez, and then I was reading this, and in my head I was laughing my head off because I'm like, we're just gonna have to do Phil here. Breaking news, they're not gonna sign him. But you know what? How fun is it doing a podcast when live news is flying in and we get to talk about it?
It's I mean, we still don't know what's happening with Slay, and at the end of the day, I think I have a funny feeling, and I'm making another take, so it's definitely not going to happen. Is that Slay will be a post June the 1st. That's why he's been given the opportunity to seek a trade elsewhere, because if he seeks a trade, gets a trade in before in the interim, they pick up his contract, and we're out of that two-way. So I think they're basically saying that this is where we're going. We're going with Bradberry, Darius, and you can either come along for the ride, take a cheaper deal, or you can go and get paid elsewhere. We'll thank you for your service, but you do you, we got to do us. But that doesn't mean that we don't necessarily.
Slay's not free agents, by the way. We just need to remember Slay is not a free agent. It was him looking for how much he could be traded by. So this almost effectively guarantees the Eagles are not picking up a cornerback at pick 10 or pick 30, because they would lose so much in dead cap for Slay to be traded. We've seen the value that they would get for trading him is not going to be very high, a 5th, 6th round pick, perhaps, and the savings don't match it. So, and if they were going to do the trade, they would do it post June 1st. So unless they know they're going to trade him and they have a buyer to trade him to post June 1st, they are not going to be signing a cornerback at pick 10. So I just wanted to clarify the difference between all the free agency guys we're talking about who are in the market and Slay, who is not a free agent, but has been able to look for a trade while he negotiates.
Yeah, but what I'm essentially saying is that it's not impossible, and it's still there's a way to do out of it, and the words that are being used in terms of crack on and find a trade. All right, okay, fair enough, clarified that, but it could be a case of find a trade, but it won't be going through until after the 1st of June. So what I think what I'm ultimately trying to get around to is the fact that, like Mick said, with the best player available, if we have Slay, Bradberry, and on the cards that come the draft time, and Gonzalez is sat there at pick 10, you telling me you're not going to pick him up, or check? You don't have a plan B. You don't have a situation where you go, well, if he's there, this is what we'll do. We'll take him and we'll do this with Slay, blah 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 blah. Or
yeah, you could make the argument. I mean,
but he's not going to be there. What I'm saying is, I'm just talking about the fact that in that situation, you can't turn and go, well, we didn't plan for this, so we're not going to take Gonzalez. We're going to. There
are lots of connotations. There are lots of different ways this could go. You could make the argument, now that I think about it more, that by the fact that Nick's smiling, I hope there's something else hasn't happened that we don't know about, and it's just going to surprise us.
Seriously, type in breaking news.
Exactly. It could be that the Eagles know Darius Slay is going to be traded post June 1st, and that they want to lock up James Bradberry as the cornerback 1, and that they're then going to focus on signing with the draft. So, to be honest with you, it doesn't guarantee anything. There's a lot of things this could mean.
I did see a post the other day, yesterday, from Roar of the Lions, good friends of ours, sort of talking about the possibility of maybe Slay comes back to the Lions now, minus Matt Patricia. Seems like it could be kind of a bit of a fairy tale, saying, thanks, but I'm going home, and that because of the amicable sort of nature of it, because of we'll let you go after first of June, so we save a bit of dead cat money. And we pick up this, but this is all very much dependent on us picking up a cornerback. And I don't see them looking to take a cornerback and hoping that this situation. This was more of a hypothetical, that if such a talent is there available, you cannot not take him.
What chances we see CJ Gardner-Johnson being signed before we end this podcast?
I was going to joke about that a second ago. I was just like, if we stay on long enough, Gardner-Johnson will be here as well.
The pod will never end.
I'm just seeing a message that's been someone who's obviously watching the podcast. Oh no, we can't be watching this live. This is not live. We will be doing a live from a screenshot, which is me saying he's enjoyed Howie. Howie's moving a little bit too much there. Alrighty, well.